3 lessons we should learn from the war in Ukraine. At a high level, we'll talk SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses, drones, and manufacturing. Suppression of enemy air defenses is something the U.S. has focused on for a long time. It involves taking out surface-to-air missiles, anti-aircraft artillery, radar sites, command and control structures, really anything that could prevent us from gaining air superiority or even air supremacy. The war in Ukraine is showing just how important it is to be as thorough as possible in that opening salvo. I mean, with mobile surface-to-air missiles, they could be anywhere. And in the middle of a war, it's not that easy to track individual vehicles. I'm talking big systems, S-300s and 400s, not manpads. If there's a bunch of these floating around a country, there's just no real way to effectively get rid of them before a conflict. Now let's talk drones. At a high level, we'll break it down into 2 categories, lethal and non-lethal. Lethal carry munitions, bombs, and missiles to conduct strikes. Non-lethal is more for intelligence gathering. The Turkish-made Bayraktar drone and the US-made Switchblade have both gotten a lot of press, but I don't think either one of those is really where the biggest lesson is learned. Instead, I think it's the small, relatively inexpensive unarmed drones. I mean, it's hard to overestimate the value of real-time intelligence in the battlefield, being able to watch enemy movements or identify targets for airstrikes or artillery. I mean, if you're an observer, what better way to walk rounds on target than in real time? Because of all of that, anything in the sky with a camera is a real threat, and the best way to get rid of it is with a surface-to-air missile, the same ones that could be used for helicopters. So, given the option, wouldn't you want the enemy to use up all of their manpads, knocking out little drones? And last, but certainly not least, manufacturing. Since the beginning of the war, there's been a lot of speculation about the impact that sanctions will have on the Russian military. So we need to think about that from our point of view. If we were in a war and walls went up with our trading partners around the world, could we stay in the fight? Now, this is a little outside my expertise, and there's a lot of directions you could go. I don't have a clear yes or no answer. But at a high level, I'm talking about materials, facilities, and personnel. Could U.S. industry sustain a war all by ourselves? Because in a worst case scenario, we might have to. So I've got the importance of SEAD, flooding the battlefield with unarmed drones, and domestic manufacturing for the U.S. military. What would you add to that?